Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. This is the opening bell. Welcome. I'm Ashley Reeve. Before we get started, guys, the information we discuss in this video is opinion and should not be construed as advice in any way. A warm welcome to you if you're joining for the first time. It's an absolute pleasure being with you. We do this every day, Mondays to Fridays at 9 a.m., where we provide a bit of a snapshot of what's happening, for the morning, and then obviously some updates the next day and so forth. So let's get into this one. We had an opening bell yesterday, chatted about the stronger dollar possibly expected throughout the week, and we're seeing some of that sentiment come through. But before we do that, let's quickly back up and just chat a little bit about the US-China political drama from the weekend. So the market has completely moved on now. Right now, the money is, or the big money is really focused on, three things, if we could provide a summation. The first thing is Wall Street is taking a bit of a breather. The second thing is the Middle East is staying incredibly tense. And the third thing is the US dollar is absolutely pushing, and through everything in its path. So let's maybe first start it off with, the Wall Street side. It's feeling a little bit heavy. The S&P 500 has dropped 3 days in a row, sitting around the 7,002, 7,003 point area. The bond yields are creeping up, which is putting the brakes on the crazy tech rally we've been seeing. And the big catalyst in this point is everything hinges on NVIDIA's earnings dropping later today. AI stocks have run up so fast that the market is basically demanding NVIDIA to pull a rabbit out of their hat and, just to justify the prices. So US futures are completely flat this morning. Let's have a look at them quickly. So there's your US 30. Here is your S&P 500. All of them are at an actual support at this point, as well as the NAS 100 there. You can see it also really just consolidating. So what's going to be important for us is to check out for those earnings. There's many investors that are waiting to see what happens there. I see some of the guys there. I see Young Sun is here. Sammy, I see you there. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So we're going to see what really happens with Wall Street later on today, guys. It's going to be an interesting one. That's the first point here this morning. Second one is the Middle East. There's high stakes, or the high stakes in the oil is really, really pushing in a similar kind of tone. Trump announced yesterday he was literally 1 hour away from launching a massive strike on Iran before pausing it to give negotiators until the weekend. So Iran hit back saying they'll open, new fronts if anything happens. And the UAE just confirmed a drone attack on their nuclear plant over the weekend. So the market is, well, at least the impact is, with the Strait of Hormuz basically blocked off, oil is still stuck at an elevated level of 109 to 110. We are seeing, some of it come down a little bit here, but it's still within that 106 to 113 range. And it's going to be important for us to check this out because oil is so high, inflation isn't going away, which means central banks can't cut interest rates anytime soon, which is an interesting one. We'll chat about that at another time. So oil is still high, and it's important for us to note that, all right? The third thing here is we chatting about the dollar that's basically bullying a lot of the guys. The dollar is really, really pushing this week. The dollar index is up 99.28 on the point index because people are using it as a safe haven for the war and a place to get high yields, those bonds there, all right? And the damage is that the euro is being dragged down to the 116 area. Actually, the 115 now, as you can see it there. And emerging market currencies are getting absolutely wrecked. The Indian rupee just crashed to a historic low of 96.14 against the dollar because the oil import bills are through the roof. And that is important for us to understand, all right, this morning. Now, even although that's the case, all right, traders, one must understand that there has to be some form of game plan, right? So how do we play this for the rest of the week? Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it a little bit defensive, all right? So from an indice perspective, we're not chasing the tech right now, all right? We're waiting for NVIDIA's volatility to clear out today before putting on anything. I have the NVIDIA chart here. Just so you do know, there was some some positions that I put in last year already, leaving this one because really Nvidia is still increasing here. It is a massive company, lots of influence. But again, there needs to be some meaningful movement here, and hopefully those earnings will do that. So I'm not chasing any of the tech right now. I'm waiting for that earnings to actually come through and see what happens. From a forex perspective, I'm sticking with the trend at this point in time. All right. And when I say that, the dollar is still strong. So what's important to understand that from a Euro USD perspective, we're going down at this point. That's the trend currently. However, in a trend, don't forget, you have your low, your lower high, your lower low, your lower high, and so forth. So today, there could be some movement to the upside if the dollar breathes. All right, so maybe just to show you, there is a trend that has set in the technical side of all the major pairs. This is the Euro USD, so I'll use this one as an example, and you can go and check it out on all the other charts. This swing high, that swing low is what we're looking at on a daily frame. Now I'm going to switch down to an hour frame so you can see that is what we're working with, all right? When I say that's what we're working with, give me a second. From that high to this low, that's the structure. Now, from a trend perspective, do we come up in this trend or do we continue down in terms of dollar strength? That is what we're looking at today. That's the structure from that high to that low. There is enough momentum to the downside. Low, lower low, lower low. All right? High, lower high, lower high, lower high. So if that's a lower high, there could be another lower high coming up here now, which is an intraday move that many of the guys could actually capitalize on. So please make a note of that. We are not saying the dollar is not going to continue to strengthen, but we're saying, guys, at the end of the day, this market fluctuates like waves, all right? And so a possible wave today could be another lower high within this specific structure. Do not forget that. At the end of the day, price reacts off swing highs, swing lows. It has substructures in between, which is those lows, lower lows, and so forth. So you have to understand that before you're making a decision. Another thing is, are you trading, from a swing trade perspective? Because if you're scalping or you're swing trading, your analysis is going to be different on the structure. This is a 1 hour frame, guys. 1 hour. All right. That's it. That's a 1 hour frame. And we are dealing with a couple of days of trending down here. So there might just be a push for a lower high. And if the price pushes above a key resistance area within the structure, we're obviously continuing to go to the upside. I think that's pretty much straightforward and simplified there for everybody, yeah? And so let's then also not omit the gold price, because that's important. We are tracking gold and we're doing exactly the same thing. If I can just start over here, we have a swing high and swing low, and we are dealing with this structure here, isolating it from the rest. So if obviously we push further down with the dollar strength, I think it goes without saying. All right, traders, without saying, we push further down. However, inside of this swing high and that swing low, it's important to drop down to look at the intraday, and that is the structure that we're dealing with. That's the structure from that high over there to this low here. So there is definitely, it looks like, a chance here today where we could see an elevated gold price. It does not mean price is going to go all the way to the upside, but we could come and create another lower high over here. And I think that is a key zone and a key factor. There's also a lot of divergence that's set in. You can see it, a lot of divergence that's set in. So there is a support here, and that's important for us to understand. All right, so check it out today. A bit of a stronger, a bit of a weaker dollar, a little bit here, possibly today for a short-term correction, unless price continues to break. But we are still looking at a stronger dollar for the rest of the week. We'll see what happens. It's midweek. We'll see what happens tomorrow. if this continues. If not, we'll obviously just change, and adapt at the end of the day. But overall, just so you do know, guys, gold is still bullish. If you go to the monthly and to the weekly charts, gold is still bullish. And all we're experiencing here is just a deeper possible correction back to that support over there around the $4,020 per ounce. All right. But check out the oil price. Don't forget the oil price is very important for you as well. We could be getting some downside here. I'm seeing a lot of divergence kick in the oil price as well, guys. So please, tomorrow, if you do see the oil price come down, just know I told you so. All right, but we'll continue to watch though, because the dollar is strong. All right, but that's it from me this morning here, guys. If you'd like to open an account with us, don't forget you can visit www.tdmarkets.com. You can also email us at care@tdmarkets.com. What a pleasure being with you here this morning. Have a fantastic Wednesday. It's midweek, guys. Nothing major on the markets at this point in time. We're still dealing with inflationary pressure at this point and those possible higher interest rates. We know that Australia hiked those rates as well. So let's see if other countries start to hike, because the dollar, at least the Federal Reserve, is looking into that as well if the inflation continues to push up. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow for an update on the markets. Watch the US Open today, later this afternoon, and we'll take it from there. Have a good one now. I'm Ashley Reeve, opening bell. Ciao, ciao.